Hello, welcome to the Potato Garden Podcast. We're back for episode 8. It's been a whole month, I would say.
Yeah, about a month. Yep.
Yeah, so Troy, you're here, and Ethan's here
Yeah.
too.
Yes, sir.
Poggies.
So,
Yes.
what's pretty cool, I was looking at the analytics for the podcast, and 1% of people are from the Philippines, 1% of people are from Russia, 1% of
Nice.
people are from New Zealand,
Cool.
5...
Interesting.
How, wait, 1%.
Yeah.
How many listeners do we have?
Well, there's
Oh, wait, maybe somebody's part Russian and Filipino, and then their percent gets split.
well, in total, the whole podcast has 71 plays.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
So, what's... Alright.
Yeah, so we're splitting people, I think, and that's how
I
we're getting
think we are.
1%.
And then 5% Germany, 12% United States, and then 77% Canada.
Fantastic.
12% U.S. We got the strong American support. Thank you, America.
Very poggers.
Very poggers.
Yes.
Sus of the 5% German. Don't know where they are. How come it's not more?
Germans and,
I don't know, I found that fascinating. So,
that's good, yeah.
obviously, over the summer, I've been doing a lot of work. And
Yes, you have.
I don't know if I talked about when I went to Tofino.
Mm,
I don't think so. I
not
think
too
we
much, no.
missed a couple.
Yeah, that was so
Trips.
like
Wasn't that like the start of the break in the podcast was like you going to Tofino?
yeah, and then right after I did it with Brad,
Right.
and then yeah, I just completely had to work every day of the week, and so it was just like,
Busy.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think you said that it's sort of seasonal in a sense that you're a lot busier in the summers.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like already it's slowing down like crazy.
Right. Back to school. Nobody wants to clean up their house and
Totally.
get it on the market. You're kind of. Yeah. Did they say? Is it like what's the highest month for listings? Is it like June or something?
Probably in spring till like August.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Hopefully you'll have a little bit more time to relax the next couple months.
last year was a lot more busy considering the pandemic, but like, yeah, it was crazy last year.
yeah.
Like I would get
People trying to downsize and move and find what they can afford.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. So when I went to Tofino, it was really hot. It was like 32 degrees.
Was this during the
Oh,
nifty
the
way we
heat
had here?
wave.
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
So it was 1 o'clock on I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday, and my surfing lessons was at 1 o'clock.
Nice, okay.
And so and it's actually quite a bit of a walk to the beach from where you put the wetsuit on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ooh, you got steamed, Jonborgva. Oh no.
what sucks is my sister's doing this with me, and she's 4 years younger, and she's not very active,
Okay.
so she ended up getting heat stroke and throwing
On
up
the walk?
after surfing.
Okay. So
Makes
probably a
more
bit
sense.
of a walk and a bit of surfing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then we were on the beach being told all the instructions while sitting
Right.
around in the sun.
It seems like a failure on the instructor's part to secure like shade or like I don't even know if you could get air conditioned places with like
Oh
COVID
no,
and
not
stuff,
where
but
we were. No.
yeah.
And it's kind of funny because my brother and his friends, they were up at the same time as us,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what originally how we planned with Tofino was his friends were going to go up and he was going to go up, but he ended up just coming up with us.
Right.
Nice.
But we all camped at the same campsite, so
All right.
Nice. You have some big beer pong tourneys up there?
Something like that, but not beer pong. We were playing. It's a relatively new game. Spike ball.
Spike ball.
Yeah, that's fun.
Spike ball is very fun. It can be quite hard to like. I don't want to say learn. The rules are simple, but then just like to get a good rally going.
And then we played.
I find it's pretty hard.
We played bocce ball in the dark.
Glow in the dark bocce?
We didn't have glow in the dark.
I'm googling it. Amazon. Glow in the dark bocce. It is a thing.
Fantastic.
Well, we didn't have that, so we had to guess whose ball it was. And the first amount of time, I was like winning 5 in a row.
Very good.
Yeah.
Jonborgva out there bowling. You should go to the bowling lane, Jonborgva.
I've gotten turkeys before.
Turkeys. He's hit 3 in a row. That's pretty good.
No, just one turkey. Yeah. That's 3 strikes in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if I've got one before. I don't think I have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have either.
Maybe a couple 2 in a row. I don't even know what that's called, but not 3 in a row.
Yeah. And another thing I did in Tofino is I got to see this airplane that crash landed.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, the wreck. What is it? Oh, who's the guy who flew it? What's the pilot's name?
I don't know.
Or what's the wreck called, I guess?
It's a bomber.
Oh, okay.
1948 Kanso plane crash.
It's a Japanese bomber. They were trying to cause
no, it wasn't
Pearl Harbor 2.0.
It wasn't
they
a
were
Japanese.
going for Vancouver and Seattle. But the people on the Vancouver Island, the stalwart Canadians, shot them down.
It was
specifically the Tofino people.
It was a royal.
Yes, the Tofino people used their home brews and their craft cheese
and surfboards
and
surfboards,
sewn tunics. They hiked up to the top of the mountain and spotted them.
Yeah,
they threw their whittled carvings and brought it down.
It crashed shortly after takeoff. So
you mean after hours of the extreme mission?
No.
from the aircraft carrier that was offshore.
What's interesting though, there are areas where they did drop bombs to fire the things off before they crashed. You know, they dropped
to lighten the weight or whatever.
Yeah, drop their payload. And basically, when we were there, we didn't really see it until like someone pointed it out, and it was just a pond, right? So.
Wait, it turned into a pond, or they just dumped it in a pond?
Oh no, it turned into a pond.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean this was 1945, right?
So over there, floating in a pond. Yeah, don't go near that. It might blow up. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've heard there's lots of IEDs and landmines. There's like a problem that there's just so many left over from wars and stuff.
Oh, probably like in Vietnam, yeah.
Don't they use like rats or something?
I heard they train rats and of course they used to use dogs, but people probably don't like to do that anymore. But yeah, make rats, train them to the smell of the landmine, and then you give them treats, and then you let them go.
There's like a weird like wind blown like weighted thing that would just set off landmines. You kind of like roll it out into like a minefield, and just kind of let it get blown around by the wind, and then eventually it'll just blow things up.
I think
I saw that somewhere.
What's that? The thing in the Western movies where that like tumbleweed goes by?
Yeah, it's like a giant weighted tumbleweed that has like pads on it, and it's enough weight to activate landmines. I think they use it in Africa. I don't know. Fact check.
Yeah, and what sucks about those kinds of things is that those landmines are so old, right? So it's iffy if they even work.
True.
Like,
you want them to work so they blow up. You don't want them to be halfway.
yeah, like they'd be a dud, and then you go and pick it up, and it blows up in your face.
Yeah, that would not be good. Huh.
Just drive a tank over it.
Yeah, that would be an expensive way to deactivate all land.
Yeah.
Wonder if you could do some kind of like thermal image or like radioactive imaging, whatever. I'm not curious to find out how they see them.
I'm not sure about this website, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'll drop it in this thing here. That's what I'm talking about. Just some sort of weighted, wind-blown thing with pads.
It looks like
made
the
of
top
bamboo.
of a dandelion. Is that what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Like when
So
it's
it has,
got
like-
its seeds out.
Yeah, it's got like super cheap to make. It just has like bamboo and other things like that, and it just kind of rolls around and gets blown up.
Wind-propelled Afghan.
A mine
inspired by.
Kafon. A mine Kafon. Interesting. Okay, this is what I wanted to say though, because when I was at the plane thing, there obviously a lot of people graffitied it, right?
Yep.
But there was one that stood out to me, and it's someone's Twitch.tv.
Nice.
Oh, wait, are we ganking him? I'm gonna gank him. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I have a picture of it.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
we're going.
Okay, so it's
All right, I'm ready.
HAYYDINI.
P-I-N-I.
I haven't.
Hey, Denny.
Yeah.
Hey, Denny. All right,
Favorite Canadian. We're in the right area.
brother. Is he live?
No.
No. What does he do?
I
Check
don't
from
know.
Minecraft.
3 days ago.
Minecraft, Worms, and Valorant.
Oh no, he's VTubing.
Is he a VTuber?
It looks like it. That's hilarious.
All right, hold on. Videos. What's his most recent one here?
He has a Discord.
Wait, is he Bed Warsing? He's
It
Bed
does-
Warsing.
Does look like Bed Wars.
What's that?
Oh no, it's not. Wait, it's wait. Oh yeah, it is Bed Wars.
What is Bed Wars?
It's a custom game in Minecraft.
Nice.
Oh.
So they.
Wait, he has an Instagram, but he's got 0 posts. Uh-huh.
I like how that was their. They like graffitied the airplane.
TikTok.
Hold on. Let's go.
Okay,
Let's go into
All
videos.
of it is Minecraft, though. Mm-hmm.
Let's go to all videos. Featured by past broadcasts.
Oh.
Alright, well, we can't report them for graffitiing.
Oh, they streamed.
Alright,
They streamed from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Right.
Today.
It looks like you started streaming 2 months ago or so.
Whoa, so it would have been an... That's probably what started it all, Jonborgva.
Wait, were you? Wait.
I was in July.
It
Okay.
would have been very start.
Jonborgva, you just baiting us? Is this one of your friends?
No.
Is this an alt, Jonborgva?
Jonborgva?
Well, no, it's not.
Uh,
You do have to remember that maybe he didn't keep all his highlights because Twitch does delete old streams.
True. But I'm just looking at past broadcasts, and I went to the very bottom.
Yeah,
So,
because most probably.
At least it's 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm. I doubt
5
that.
months ago,
Oh, what?
I went to Clips All Time.
I see.
They're playing Jackbox with friends, and there's a... It's one of the monkeys that looks like it's got a penis on its face. I don't
Oh,
know how
yeah.
to describe it other than that.
I guess
Some
I
Fortnite
guess,
gamers, a Fortnite gamer, but mainly Minecraft.
I guess Jackbox is a good way to start with the community kind of thing.
Yeah, once you get like 10 people or something, start playing some Jackbox.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 2 years ago? Okay.
So he's been doing this for quite a while then.
Yes. 2 years ago.
Oh.
I think 2 years ago is the longest I see here.
I'm surprised they don't have a Twitter. Should I write in their YouTube discussion, "Hi from Tofino"?
Hi, you vandalizing streamer.
Hello. I saw your vandalism recently.
Shout out to your vandalizing the bomber.
Hello, shout out to the Canso bomber tagging.
FBI open up.
So they have a lot more
interesting.
followers than I actually expected. I thought it would be like an unknown channel, you know?
What it was like in the hundreds, right?
Yeah, it is in the hundreds.
So what you're saying, Jonborg, is you need to go back to that bomber
And write
and
my
graffiti it up. Bonjorg in big radioactive letters all over the bomber.
radioactive letters.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been streaming a lot recently too. Just trying to play Final Fantasy and whatnot.
Final Fantasy Sedge.
But what about you guys? What have you guys been up to over the summer?
Ethan, you want to go first?
Well, I mean, since January, I've been in school learning about sheet metal fab. So, the end of July, I guess I finished that program. Now I'm currently trying to find an apprenticeship and a job and all that stuff. But in the meantime, I guess I don't know, camping, fishing, all that stuff. Went on a nice salmon fishing trip up in an undisclosed location.
Ooh, a sneaky fishing spot.
Yeah, can't get that spot too busy. It's a good one though. It was actually really insane too. It was like the first day we were there, we were kind of bummed out because there had been no rain for the past little bit. Because as you know, we were in a drought-ish.
Yeah.
So the river level was really, really low. So past years, I've been told that there's been like salmon pools, like all the way up to where we were camping, but this time there was nothing. Like we walked all the way down, and like we maybe saw like a a a pool of like 10 maybe salmon.
Sid.
And then the we waited overnight, and it started to rain, and then it rained all day,
Nice.
and then we went out in the evening of the next day when it's still kind of rainy, and we went down way down to kind of like there's like an estuary area, so we were just fishing there, and they're like, "Oh, why? There's a bunch of fish now. There's like a lot of fish now." And then suddenly, I believe it was I think it was the tide going out. Yeah, yeah. So we were fishing at high tide, and because we were at the mouth of an estuary, the tide affects the river levels.
Yeah.
So we were fishing at high tide, then the tide starts to go out, and I believe when the tide was at its lowest, we look way down the river, and it's like we hear like wind or something like that, and like a ton of like waves and stuff. We look down, and then it looks like there's just a small surge of waves coming in from the mouth of the estuary, and we're like, "What's happening?" and it gets closer and closer, and then it's just thousands of salmon just rushing, like it's literally looking like the water's boiling with salmon. It's just
Nice.
tons of salmon boiling up, so we're just like throwing our fishing like lures, like just
Nets?
we're doing anything we can. We're throwing it right in the middle of them, like hauling them in. They're all between like 20 to 40 to I believe the biggest one caught there was about 48 pounds.
Nice.
And I was like, bro. So yeah, it was actually really fun. That fishing trip.
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
A
good.
lot
pretty
of
cool.
yeah. There was a lot of lines broken.
Yeah, I
A
bet.
lot of lures lost.
Oh
Um,
no.
but all in all, I believe our total haul, because like we literally had no room. Like we took up maybe like a half-size cooler and a full cooler, and they were one of them was for food. So we took home in total 5 fish.
Okay.
Um, and
So
our
what
fish
you would have
range.
caught in like what, like 30 minutes or something?
We could have got our bag limit like in an afternoon with that,
Okay. Yeah.
but we decided to catch and release for the most part, unless we got a really good one.
Right.
And what is a really good one? They're people call them chromers, and chromers are basically fresh from the ocean, and then they haven't started to change into their like river form.
Okay. So they taste different.
They do. They taste really nice and fresh, whereas like the ones that have been in the river for like, a week or so, those are what people call the like boots. Like they're old, they're about to die. They've already done their spawning thing, and they're just kind of swimming there to die.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess that makes sense, right? It's like the as soon as the turtle lays its eggs, it's like it doesn't have anything else to do.
Yeah. So the good fish is like the ones coming in from the ocean, and they're all like really nice and shiny, and like obviously that's why they call them chromers, because they're have that kind of chrome sheen to them.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so Cam, I believe. So yeah, this trip was with Cam and Colin.
Nice.
Um, and Cam got the biggest of the fish. I believe it had to be probably around guts in, probably 38 pounds. Um, Colin was the second, and I was the third. But Cam only kept the one fish. Colin and I both took home two.
Cool.
But
Got
like
fish for days.
yeah, like we one fish for like a family of four. Well, I was family of three because my mom was away. But for my brother, myself, and my dad, it lasted us like a week.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fish.
Some make some sushi, some like soy
I don't know.
marinade. Is it soy and what's the
For
soybean
which
paste? Miso,
miso,
and honey or whatever. Heard that's good
maybe.
with salmon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would do sashimi or nigiri with it, because for it to be like
Oh,
quote
you
unquote,
transported it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, for it to be quote unquote sashimi grade fish, or like sushi grade fish, I believe it needs to be caught, gutted, and frozen, like flash frozen, like right
Really
away.
quick, yeah.
Just because it needs to be, kill all the parasites and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it was like we caught it, and the best we had was a cooler with some ice packs, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, that's probably good enough, and then we'll get it back. Obviously, we need to cook it and stuff. But I've got one fish left, and it's the better of the two, which is nice. So
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah.
that sounds like a
Um,
quite a experience.
it was a really cool experience. It was like some of the people there, like we weren't fishing alone. It was like with a bunch of other people who know of the spot, but it's a lot of like local people. They're like, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. You don't see this at all. Like last year,
That's
sure they
cool.
were up here, but it's like it was something special to see like literally thousands of salmon just rolling in from the ocean into the
Huh.
river.
And where was
I
that?
wonder if the other rivers were too low, and so then they all kind of went over to one. But
Well, I don't. It's in a very, very rich area of the island, like the that kind of area we were in. I'm gonna keep it undisclosed for now because like I do
Oh,
want to respect uh like the locals' fishing spot essentially.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that makes sense. Is it
yeah,
is it on the island though?
it is on the.
Oh,
I'll say
okay, okay.
Jonborg's found it already. You said
he's
too
found it.
much.
I've said it. But yeah, so it's yeah. I think I think the other rivers would have had at least some, but I know that in the area that was the largest river, so obviously it
Yeah,
would have the most salmon
if
going up
they
it.
said that, and it's like I don't want to say it's record breaking like low water, but
It
definitely
was
record
pretty
breaking
low.
heat, and then like not any rain for what 3 months or something.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
we got I think like maybe 5 centimeters. No, 5 millimeters of rain. Five
Mm,
centimeters would be insane. 5 millimeters of rain we got,
yeah.
and that was just enough to kind of like trigger the fish. I'm assuming. I don't know how fish think or work, but I feel like it was like it rained, and then they decided to come into the river, and like that's all we knew. And when the tide was out, it kind of triggered that like whole event of just thousands of fish like rolling up into the river, just like and they came in waves too. It was like a huge squad would roll up, and then they'd like boil into the first pool of salmon. They'd move up the river a little bit, and then they would kind of spread out, and then you'd see another squad roll in.
huh, that's cool. I wonder.
Yeah,
You probably there will be like I don't even know what they'd be called. Marine biologists maybe, who would be out there looking at the numbers and
well, there is a oh, what is it? Is that
is it conservatory people, conservation
no,
people?
n- no? There's a is it? It's not a fishery. It's a hatchery, I think.
Oh,
So
Oh, where
there's
they go egg to like fry and then they throw the small fry in the ocean or whatever.
yeah, I think so. So there's some sort of like conservation effort up there. Let
did
me
you
see.
did you take any like pictures of how it looked?
No,
I
John Borg's getting more information.
No, no.
I
I'm just
did.
He's
curious.
triangulating the location.
I just want to see what it would look like with all the like
You're gonna
fish
roll up
bubbling out.
this time next year, and John Borg's gonna be there fishing. He's gonna have caught 50 fish.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sell them on the black market
The black market.
at exorbitant
Stinky old dangerous fish.
at exorbitant price.
Yeah, so there's like a fishery or like a some
Yeah,
sort of
the island we have some hatcheries for sure. I just know
hatcheries.
like
That's what it is.
Bamfield and all that kind of stuff. They yeah, in my environmental studies class we like kind of learned that well, I don't know if it seemed accurate and I researched it and I did a paper on it, but it seems like I think the number was close to about 90% of the salmon that were caught in the wild are not born in the wild. They're
Oh,
born in hatcheries and then
Mhm.
released. And this, I think, has to do. I don't know if it's a way that they can like regulate the numbers and just say like, hey, fish as much as you want or whatever, like a certain amount. But I thought it was because the water is like not good enough to spawn in as well anymore. Similar to there were eggs of birds that were like not forming properly, and then the coral reefs are also like some coral doesn't really form in Can't remember if it's ocean S. I don't think it's acid. It would be alkalinity, something like that. But
I think so, the alkaline.
yeah,
But yeah,
the
so
oceans
yeah,
are becoming basic.
I have just confirmed that it is a hatchery.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know why you guys talking about fish like
making you hungry, Jonborg?
No, I was gonna talk about like that fish cannon.
What?
The fish cannon where people like put fish into it and shoot it.
What? Is this in an anime?
No.
No. What? I have never heard of a fish. Ethan, you heard of a fish cannon?
I don't think so.
No, I just remember seeing it.
Jonborg?
Okay, let me see if I can find the GIF.
Oh boy. I had an interesting nature experience. What would have been Friday, so 5 days ago or so. I was doing a scouting report on the mushroom patch.
Oh yeah,
wait. Mushrooms were there.
You guys went, yeah?
Yeah, there unfortunately are no mushrooms there.
Ah.
And even more unfortunately, as I tried to scout around the area just to see if like they were anywhere, which they really shouldn't grow, just down the road or whatever. If they're gonna grow everywhere.
Yeah.
Just because it would be like the amount of rain and stuff, but
I posted the meme.
I was hiking through a kind of semi-dense, say like forest or bush, so much so that you couldn't really walk without using your hands to push branches away.
Oh.
And it was like,
did you get bit by a tick?
Not quite. A really young, dead Douglas firs, and so, like, quite thick and just hard to move through, and they're all dead, so that's like scratchy or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're walking through, and I stepped on, I believe it's like a ground wasp's nest.
Oh no!
And I got stung, and then I looked at Calvin, who I was with, and they're like, "Ow!" And then I said, "Oh, ow!" And then I realized, because my immediate instinct was like, "Oh, I rubbed up against some poison ivy or some stinging nettle or something." And I'm just beginning to like feel that kind of like sharp tingle of like a barb that's stuck into my skin or whatever. And then I said, "Oh crap!" And it was so like, if I stepped on the nest in like the middle of a field, I would have got stung like once maybe and just ran away. But it was really hard because I was carrying my water bottle in like a little day bag, and then I had to drop my water bottle because I didn't want to just like run through holding a water bottle and not like getting the branches out of the way, because it would have been, I did get cut up, but I would have been even more cut up.
You could have used your water bottle to swipe the branches away.
It didn't work, Jonborg, unfortunately. It was my water bottle was like one of those 2-liter ones, so it was pretty big.
Was it obvious that you were stepping onto a wasp's nest?
No, the ground looked like the ground everywhere, and so on the way back, as I realized, like, okay, let's just get back to the cabin and take some afterbite stuff and whatever else, or just put my legs in the lake, which actually felt very nice. But I was kind of paranoid on my way back because I was like, everything could be like a bug's nest and like a wasp nest or something. And of course, we like hiked for like an hour, and I stepped on it after an hour. So like, I wasn't paranoid before, and then as soon as I stepped on it, then I was paranoid the whole time. I was like, anywhere they could be waiting to get me.
Sad.
Hey, at least it wasn't a tick. You could get Lyme's disease.
I believe there's not Lyme on the island, and that would be a controversial thing to say, but I'll quote my brother, as he learned it in his med program.
Oh, really? Oh, then that's...
Yeah. It's good to know for sure, yeah. But...
so we don't have ticks at all, or just...
No, we have ticks.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have ticks, but it's Lyme's disease, his life cycle is like, a tick will bite a deer. The deer will have this bacteria in them. Then the bacteria will go inside the tick. Then that tick will then... They have like 3 stages. They're like a really small tick. They bite the first thing, which is like a mouse. Then they grow bigger. Then they'll like bite I don't even know if it's like a rabbit or whatever. Just hypothetical. It's like a rabbit. Then they grow bigger, and then their final stage they'll like bite a deer.
Mm.
And I somehow it's like if they bite the deer too early, then they spread it, and then they bite a human afterwards, then they'll spread it to you. So, but I don't believe our deer population has that bacteria.
Oh, really? Even though we
Yeah,
have like pretty high population of deer.
Yeah, we have a lot of deer. The specific bacteria is a spirochete called Borrelia burgdorferi.
Okay.
And this is something I remember from my 4th year microbial pathogenesis course.
So
and forever that name is in my brain.
Okay, so you're taking microbiology?
I have already taken it. I
okay. There was someone today I was talking to. I went for a hike with some friends. And they live in Squamish.
Squamish?
Yeah. So I think one of them's starting microbiology, and the other one's like, which was Oscar. He's doing the computer engineering course in
nice
UVic. The other guy's name's August, and he's doing the microbiology.
Well, if he ever needs somebody who's done the program recently to tell him which teachers to avoid.
Yeah, he said he failed it last year.
Yeah, there's some bad teachers out there, for sure.
Okay. That's good to know. So that's what you did this summer? You just went to your cabin?
No, that was like 5 days ago.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still itchy from my I think they're wasps. I want bee stings, but yeah, I think they're wasps.
Well, it could have been worse. So you could have been allergic.
My dad's yeah. I got 6 or 7 bites. I can't really tell, but I'm itchy on both my ankles, both of the back of my kneecaps, and then I have one itchy quad and one itchy butt.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been scratching a lot recently. It's unfortunate. Earlier in the summer, though, I did hike the West Coast Trail. Yep. It was pretty fun. However, it was a lot more work than I thought it would be, to be honest. I remember doing it in high school, and I think I underestimated how fit I was in high school.
Yeah.
It was either that or I forgot how long how quickly we did it in high school, or I should say how like long it took, because for some reason I was like, oh, I'm probably roughly the same shape I am. If not, I'm like wiser and older and more careful and whatever.
Right.
Better like at preparing and my boots and make sure everything's comfy and that kind of stuff. Like maybe not like physically as fit, but certainly the increase in awareness of my
like
surroundings and stuff
as well
should help. Yeah. But pretty quickly, I was pretty miserable. I still can't feel my toes, and it's been about a month.
That's insane.
It's not quite that good. But yeah, I had a decent bit of foot pain, but it didn't get any blisters, which was really good.
Yeah, it is good.
And then it didn't rain at all, which was amazing. Because if it did rain, it would have been miserable because every morning the fog would come in and everything would get wet, and you wouldn't be able to dry anything off really.
No, everything would just stay wet.
Yeah, and I look back on the first day. We camped the first night, so like the first true day, I guess not day 0, but day 1. We're hiking, and there's this point. I think it's called Owen's Point, and it comes out, and at high tide you can't really pass it, and so they say, oh, you gotta wait till low tide, and so we are waiting for the tide to go down to the lowest point, and then you can safely cross. And there's 2 paths around. One path is kind of like, imagine you're like on like a really steep kind of like rock wall,
Yep.
and it comes up and around the water, but it doesn't look dry, and it is kind of green and dirty. So
Right.
you might think, oh, that's kind of, sketchy and not the best way to go over there, which is my rationale. I said, hey, that's probably slippery. No way you'll scale it. It's
Wait,
pretty steep.
did you go through the mud patch?
Um, I wasn't necessarily mud, but it was like, yeah, sandy and whatever. Um, but I definitely dodged that. I went to where the point was like the actual point, and there was like one little rock before, kind of like a shale rock shelf, and I was like, oh, I can come off of the point, jump down. I had to probably jump like 8 feet, and I had to land on this rock, and I
Eight
did not
feet?
know if the rock was
That's high.
slippery. It was very high. I had to, yeah, if I were to stand, the like rock shelf would be above my head, kind of. And so, if I held onto it with my hands and dropped, my hands probably reach about. Actually, I don't even know if they reach 8 feet. They probably reach about 7.5 feet, something like that. But um, basically, I like dropped down onto the rock, and the other people from the other side who were waiting to come across from the other side were watching. And my friends were around the corner. They didn't see anything. But I was very close to falling in the water, which would have only been like 6 inches, 8 inches of water. However, it would have got your shoes wet.
It's still very inconvenient.
Yeah, and not realizing like that later on everything wouldn't dry either.
Yeah.
That could have been a disaster because my feet already hurt a ton. They would have then been wet for like 5 days. And there would have been no way to dry the boots either, really. So
this is about the West Coast Trail, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I had to leave the call because I had to do something for my mom. She ended up calling me, so I had to like mute myself.
Disaster averted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I survived relatively well in terms of like my physical, walking and whatever, but there was quite a bit of pain in my feet. So much so that it felt better to run on the last day, and I ran the last, I think, 3 or 4K.
Wow.
Because I did not want to walk. And it's kind of weird to think that running puts less impact on the same spots of your feet as walking, but it kind of does.
So which way which way did you do the West Coast Trail?
South and north, I think. So
Okay.
Port Renfrew first, and then ending. I don't know. I don't really know what that place is called where you end, but
okay.
yeah, the first day was a 5K hike straight up, a couple hundred meters, and straight back down. You get off the boat in Port Renfrew. They take you across the water so you can start on the trail. And then there's this like 60 rung ladder straight up, and they say, "Well, it's like welcome to the trail." You have to go up this giant ladder.
Oh,
and of course, I made the mistake of being at the back of the group. So everybody goes up the ladder. They're all resting at the top because it's one person on the ladder at a time. Then I get to the top of the ladder and they're like, "Oh, ready to go?" And then they just start walking, and I'm like out of breath. I'm like, "No, I just climbed up that big ladder." But yeah, I realized pretty quickly you don't want to be the last person on the ladder, but it's actually just better if the first person kind of speeds up to get to the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And then rests even more. And they just wait there. But
who'd you go with?
Went with Jackson.
Oh, really?
Jackson's wife, then Jackson's wife's brother, and then Jackson's wife's best friend. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds fun.
How are they doing?
It was fun. They survived. They're all far more avid hikers than
yours truly.
As I found out that when I went to go get my pack sized, that they do not make gear for people who are in the shape that I am in. I have like a 40-ish inch waist and a 48-inch chest, and so the pack straps do not fit around my chest, and so I had to size up I had to size up to the largest pack I could find, so that the straps would have the long enough strands
Hmm.
to fit around. It was extremely frustrating and super
You
stupid.
you can replace the straps, hey?
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, should I just cut this off and then replace the strap with something else? And the guy in the store was like, nah, don't do that. Like, that's silly. And I was like, no, what's silly is that it just doesn't come with a longer strap. That's what's silly. Not me cutting off the strap of the backpack that I want and then making a new strap. That would make a lot of sense to me. But he was pretty convinced that I shouldn't do that. But yeah, definitely not. I found like all hiking gear is not made for a 240-pound male.
Fair
The
enough.
the hammock that I got, it was like rated for 200 pounds, and I realized I was like, oh, okay, I gotta go take this back and get a double hammock, which is fine. It's just I assume,
Oh, is that how you
yeah,
slept in a hammock?
Get
yeah,
you off the
trying to
ground.
between some trees and yeah, get off the ground.
Yeah, I probably would have done that if I ever went on that kind of thing. I wouldn't want to sleep on the ground. That would hurt.
Well, you can bring a tent and sleeping bags and whatever, but you just gotta carry it. Actually, quite a few days I did not sleep in my hammock. I instead slept on the sand in my sleeping bag.
Why?
Nice.
There are a few reasons why. I think I didn't really care. It wasn't a huge deal, but
I can just imagine a bear sniffing Troy as he sleeps.
yeah, basically, I think the main reason was that I was not the first person to the beach that we were camping at. I was kind of always either I might have been the first person, but I wouldn't know where to set, our gear down. And so we kind of always geared towards camping on the beach, which meant that if I wanted to find some trees, I had to walk kind of far away. And being far away from like hot water and that kind of stuff
And
is a
everyone
little,
else.
yeah, this is not super nice. So I was like, yeah, the sand is comfortable enough. I will sleep in the sand. And I did.
The man who built his house upon the sand.
I did not build my house. Instead, what I did is I took a piece of driftwood,
Oh.
laid it, we'll say like flat horizontally, and then I put two vertical pieces of driftwood and laid them on top. So they make kind of like a C shape, or
Right.
like more like an acute, like shift and then a greater than sign or a less than sign or whatever.
Yep.
And then put the tarp over the pieces of driftwood and then put my sleeping bag underneath it. So very ghetto, but I was covered and more or less out of the wind if I geared it to the right angle, which I usually made sure to see where the wind was coming from and put the.
Do you think it was less work than setting up a tent and then taking it down?
No, a tent would have been a lot easier.
Oh, really?
Than moving driftwood, because driftwood is splintery and it's heavy and you have to walk in sand, and walking in sand sucks. Rolling out a tent and then like snapping all the metal pegs together and then like pushing the stakes in the sand is like really really easy, especially if you get used to it and you do it a bunch.
You know, there are pop-up tents now too, where you can just literally take it out and it goes poof.
Yep.
Yeah, they're I don't know how well those pack down, but yeah.
Oh,
there's a lot of different ways to camp.
They're
I've got
thin.
a really good tent set. It's not quite the pop-up thing, but it's the MSR Hubba Hubba. It's technically a two-person tent, but it's like
But
if you
like
wanna...
with most camping things, I wouldn't be able to fit inside of their quote one-person tent.
Well, so this is a two-person tent. So the MSR Hubba Hubba is like a good enough thing to have like you, your sleeping mat, as well as like your bag minus food.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like it has like a nice fly to it. It's got like enough space, and all the like the tent poles are all connected together. So all you need to do is roll it out, snap, just like put the tent poles together, lay it on top of the thing, just snap it into place, and that's it. That's all you do. And it
I
packs
see.
down
Huh.
really, really small. It's like the tent itself probably packs down to smaller than a football,
Nice.
and you can have the tent peg or the tent poles packed separately. So I have it in like another part of my backpack.
Yeah, you could put it on the outside or in like a long
Exactly.
and narrow pocket or something.
Exactly. Yeah, I put it in the space. I have a space for like a hiking pole on my backpack,
Yeah.
which I don't have a hiking pole because I don't think I need one really. So that's where I put my tent poles.
Huh.
Oh.
That's a pretty good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that's that. My tent itself packs down to less than a football. All my sleeping stuff, my sleeping bag packs down to about a football size. My sleeping mat, like my thermarest roll,
Yeah.
that packs down to. It's quite small.
Do you
I
take a
can't remember.
pillow?
I take a pillow, yep, but I have a blow up pillow.
Oh, that's cheating.
No, it's not cheating, Jonborg.
It's great.
Now, what it would be if you took a down pillow or like a feather pillow or whatever, that would
No.
be what we call dumb.
Yeah, no.
What about
I
a
have
foam
blow-up
pillow?
Yeah, no.
Foam's probably okay if you have
Oh,
the
it might be able to pack
space, but
down.
if you,
Because I can't,
have to,
I
like,
can't,
squish it.
I can't sleep without my foam pillow. I don't know. I've had it for so long.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jonborg, when you get tired enough, you can sleep without it.
That is true. That is true.
When you put your sleeping bag on the sand and you sleep with a sand pillow, you can sleep in anything if you're
Wait,
tired
did you make yourself a sand pillow?
Yeah, I made like a little imprint of my body so that I wouldn't have any like pressure points on the sand, you know what I mean? So like
Yep.
where my knees would come up, I would put a mound of sand, and then where my
Wait,
ankles would come up,
do you-
I'd put like a little
Do you
mound
sleep
of
on your
sand.
side?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I made like a
I wouldn't be able to
a
sleep
little
in the
trench.
I wouldn't be able to sleep in the sand because I'd be tossing and turning so much.
That's what I did, but yeah, you kind of just eventually fall asleep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So what are
Yeah.
your plans this September? You guys doing anything special or back to school?
We're being educated.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Troy is. I'm getting a job and just making money.
Same.
Hopefully,
Money,
camping at some point.
money.
Oh yeah. I'm probably going to the last camp. Probably camping this last time next week, or I mean this weekend will
Nice.
be the last one of the year, I think.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I love off-season camping.
Really, in the cold?
Because- Oh yeah, dude. I don't care. It's just there's no bad weather. You just dressed poorly.
Oh.
True. The
There's
nice,
never-
crisp, clean air, Jonborg.
Yeah,
Breathe it
there's
in.
there's
Ooh,
never
so
any
alive.
bad weather. You're just dressed for the wrong occasion.
Ah, well, I don't like getting wet.
Okay, except for when it was 40 degrees. That is just hands down bad weather. I don't care if you're a Californian or you live in New York or wherever it gets super hot and gross.
You
40
mean
degrees
you mean
is
Nevada?
too hot.
Depends on what you're doing. But for camping, yeah, maybe that's probably a little excessive. But that's what
You
I'm
like
saying.
pack
Like,
your underwear and your sandals and then go
Yeah.
camping.
but that's the thing though. That's like in midsummer. I'm talking about like off-season camping. Like, it's a little rainy. Sure, that's fine. It's a little cold. Yeah, might even snow. Who knows? But everything I love that kind of stuff mainly because it's cheap, and that you get off-season prices, or it's just straight up free.
Oh, really? I didn't know it was free. I mean,
Some places, yeah.
that makes I mean, it's understandable that it's free during off season.
Yeah, some places are just like, well, as long as you just clean up. It's like, oh yeah, cool.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. Me and the cold don't vibe.
That's why you
It
layer
doesn't
and
pass the
bundle
vibe
up.
check, Jonborg?
Pardon?
Doesn't pass the vibe check?
No. Because, like, if I layer up too much, then I start sweating. And I don't like that either.
See, and then in off season, you get the perk of having no fire bans.
Oh, yeah, that too.
So you can actually have a campfire, which is like a big portion to, like, what makes camping is,
Yeah, well,
having a
we
campfire.
didn't have
Oonga
any...
boonga brain like fire.
Exactly.
We didn't have any fires this year, unfortunately, when I was camping.
Yeah, because you probably went when the fire ban
Like,
was
right
on,
after,
like,
yeah.
Probably went in the last half of
Oh,
a
wait,
year.
no, I lied. When we were in Tofino, we're allowed to fry fire. But I don't know why we were... My parents
Was it...
yeah, we can have a fire, but it was like, still really hot outside.
That's, yeah, the fog belt or something. I think
Yeah,
they have a different zoning. Yeah.
The west side of the island, the west coast of the island, has a different.
Except for on the West Coast Trail, where we were not allowed fires. But if you go a little bit further up to Tofino, oh yeah, no, you can do it.
Yeah, but
all of the trail guardians were really angry and like, this is so stupid. that we
yeah,
can't
but
have a fire.
do you have like a proper metal thing to keep the fire in safe proximity or whatnot?
Oh, like a
Fire pit?
Yeah,
hearth
fire
or whatever?
pit.
Yeah.
Because that
If
actually
you had
does
it on a
matter.
beach, it would just be like a bunch of sand. But
I don't quote me on this, but I thought there was like a thing where if it's below water, like the water level, so like when the tide's out, I believe you can have a fire, no matter when.
they said not on the West Coast Trail, unfortunately.
No, hey.
But yeah, that's what you would normally be able to do, is just have a fire on the beach because it's below the tide line.
Exactly. So as long as it's below the tide line, I believe you can have a fire.
Which, to be honest, people wouldn't do, because if you're camping and you're sleeping, you wouldn't walk down to below the high tide line and then put your fire there. People would have their fire above the high tide line where their camp is set up already. But it would have been nice to be able to just
because
have a
you
fire.
just have like the comfort of having a fire, a little bit of heat, and then obviously when the tide comes in, you just
Well, I mean, fire can be pretty unpredictable. Like, what if some wind came and it just caught up, and then it like blows the embers onto your tents? Yeah.
And it's Japan 2.0.
Wait, what?
Japan built their whole empire out of paper and wood. Isn't this? I'm pretty sure it is. Let's see. Japan.
I mean, like, what year you're talking about? Like, one of the the Shogun kind of type eras or whatnot?
The Great Fire of Mariki.
The Great Fire...
1650, the fire destroyed 60 to 70% of the Japanese capital city of Edo, now Tokyo.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Killed 100,000 people.
Dang.
Yeah. Edo.
The more you know.
Yeah, I mean, it probably happens, to be honest, everywhere with big fires, but, yeah, their buildings were of wood. They didn't necessarily use brick or anything, so,
Like the fire last year in Australia?
Well, I mean, I hope Australians use more than just wood to build their houses, but...
Well, they're in some deep crap right now, apparently.
Well, I mean, that's more or less wildfires. The one Troy's talking about is like
a big city
fire.
burning down. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like if you went to downtown Victoria and you went downtown
and like
and
everything
all of our buildings were wood. And then
wood and
somebody
paper?
started a fire and then their whole city burned down. You would be like, "Oh, that was kind of dumb."
I think most of the buildings downtown are made out of like concrete and brick, eh?
Concrete and steel, yeah, usually. I mean, I guess
how would that
I think
burn?
you have to do a skyrise or apartment buildings.
How would that burn? Like just the apartments inside would burn, and then they would
now
just be
you're getting to the real question, Jonborg. How did the towers fall?
What?
How
hot
did
was
the
that
fire
fuel?
build?
Did it
How did the
melt
fire burn the
steel
steel
beams?
beams, Jonborg? Now we're getting to the real, and that will be continued on the next episode of the podcast.
You're right, because it's been an hour.
It has been an hour. You gotta stay tuned for
Ooh.
some scientific explanations of how jet fuel melts steel.
Okay,
beams.
everybody. We'll see you next time if you're still listening.
If you are listening, thanks for listening.
Yeah, that's how it goes. It's been a long time. Thank you for listening.
Right,
Bye-bye.
Yeah.